Napoleon Bonaparte. The name echoes through history. He was an emperor, he was a conqueror, but he started as a nobody. He was born in Corsica, a small island in the Mediterranean Sea. Corsica was a place of rugged mountains and fierce pride. Napoleon, born in 1769, grew up with this spirit. He was a proud and ambitious boy. He dreamed of glory. He yearned for a life beyond his humble beginnings. Napoleon was different. He was a leader, even as a child. He read voraciously, especially about great military leaders of the past. He learned from their victories and defeats. He dreamed of emulating them. Napoleon left Corsica for military school in mainland France. He was an outsider. He spoke with an accent, but he was determined to prove himself. Military life suited Napoleon. He was disciplined, intelligent, and eager to learn. He excelled in mathematics and military strategy. He devoured books about warfare, soaking up knowledge like a sponge. The French Revolution erupted in 1789. France was in chaos. It was a time of great upheaval. Napoleon saw both danger and opportunity. He was a supporter of the revolution. He believed in its ideals of liberty and equality. Napoleon's military skills shone on the battlefield. He rose quickly through the ranks. He was brave and decisive. He inspired his men with his courage and confidence. He became a hero. Napoleon's star was rising. He was a force to be reckoned with. His name began to be whispered in the halls of power. He was no longer just a soldier. He was becoming a leader of men. Napoleon's rise was meteoric. He was a brilliant strategist. He outmaneuvered his enemies time and again. He won victory after victory, securing France's borders and expanding its territory. He led campaigns in Italy and Egypt. Each victory increased his fame. He was a master of propaganda. He ensured his victories were celebrated back in France. His popularity soared. Napoleon became a political force. He was a hero of the people. He used his fame to seize power in France. In 1799, he staged a coup d'état. He became first consul, effectively the ruler of France. France was weary of revolution. It craved stability. Napoleon provided it. He restored order and efficiency. He introduced reforms. He created a new legal code. He crowned himself Emperor of the French in 1804. Austerlitz, the very name evokes Napoleon's military genius. It was a cold December day in 1805. Napoleon faced a larger Austro-Russian army. The odds were against him, but Napoleon was a master of deception. He tricked his enemies. He made them think he was weak. He lured them into a trap. He then unleashed his forces with devastating effect. The Battle of Austerlitz was a masterpiece of military strategy. Napoleon's victory was decisive. He crushed the combined might of Austria and Russia. It cemented his reputation as a military genius. Austerlitz was more than a battle. It was a symbol of Napoleon's power. He was the master of Europe. He had humbled emperors and kings. He was at the zenith of his power. Section 5. Egyptian Adventure, Dreams of Eastern Glory. Napoleon's ambitions went beyond Europe. He dreamed of conquering the East. He had always been fascinated by the ancient civilizations of Egypt and the Middle East. In 1798, he launched an expedition to Egypt. He took with him soldiers, scholars, and scientists. He wanted to study Egyptian culture and history. He also wanted to cut off British trade routes to India. The Egyptian campaign was a mixed bag. Napoleon won some notable victories against the Mamluk rulers of Egypt. However, his fleet was destroyed by the British at the Battle of the Nile. Napoleon's time in Egypt was not a complete failure. His scholars made important discoveries, such as the Rosetta Stone. This stone was key to deciphering ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. Section 6. Revolutionizing Warfare. Napoleon's Tactical Genius. Napoleon was a military innovator. He changed the way wars were fought. He studied past military campaigns in detail. He learned from the successes and failures of others. He understood the importance of speed and maneuverability. He used his artillery effectively. He emphasized the importance of morale. He inspired his troops to fight with unmatched ferocity. Napoleon also revolutionized military logistics. He understood that an army marches on its stomach. He ensured his troops were supplied. This gave him a significant advantage over his enemies. Napoleon's military genius was undeniable. He won victory after victory. He conquered vast swathes of territory. He spread the ideals of the French Revolution across Europe. Section 7, The Road to Waterloo, Overreaching Ambition. Napoleon's ambition was limitless. He had conquered most of Europe, but he made a fatal mistake. He invaded Russia in 1812. The Russian campaign was a disaster. The vast distances, the harsh weather, and the scorched earth tactics of the Russians decimated Napoleon's army. He was forced to retreat. Napoleon's enemies sensed weakness. They united against him. He faced a coalition of European powers. He fought bravely, but the odds were stacked against him. Napoleon's empire began to crumble. His enemies closed in on Paris. He was forced to abdicate in 1814. He was exiled to the island of Elba off the coast of Italy. Section 8. Exile and Death. The End of an Era. Elba was a small island, but Napoleon was not finished. He escaped from Elba in 1815. He returned to France. He rallied his supporters. He wanted to reclaim his empire. Napoleon's return threw Europe into turmoil. His opponents mobilized their armies. They were determined to defeat him once and for all. The stage was set for the Battle of Waterloo. Waterloo was Napoleon's final defeat. His army was crushed by the British and Prussian forces. He was exiled again, this time to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. Napoleon's health deteriorated in exile. He died on May 5, 1821, at the age of 51. His last words were France, armée, tête d'armée, Josephine. France, army, head of the army, Josephine. Section 9. Conclusion, Napoleon's enduring legacy. Napoleon Bonaparte was a complex and controversial figure. He was a brilliant military strategist, a ruthless dictator, and a charismatic leader. He left an indelible mark on history. Napoleon's conquests spread the ideals of the French Revolution throughout Europe. He abolished feudalism, promoted religious tolerance, and established a legal code that is still the basis for law in many countries today. Napoleon's reign was short-lived, but his impact was profound. He revolutionized warfare, reshaped the map of Europe, and left behind a legacy that continues to fascinate and inspire people around the world. He was a true giant of history.